Hello and welcome to another video of Lord of the Rings Online. We are still in the Wildermore, but we are most likely wrapping it up today and moving on to a new area. So, without further ado, welcome and enjoy.
I have decided what I must do.
Thank you for coming to listen, my friend. I have put some thought into what we have encountered in Wildermore, and I must confess it troubles me. The Polki are on the road to recovery as they are survivors, none are rescued by Biotor, but the forces of Saruman attacked this land with much greater strength than I expected they could muster. How much might could Saruman raise to strike at the heart of Rohan if he spared a creature such as Nurzum to deal with Wildermore? Imagine what evils he might unleash upon Edoras. I have decided what I must do, Fennan. My king commanded me not to cross the Endwash, and I am honor-bound to obey him. And yet I cannot remain silent. I must convince Theoden King to march against Saruman before the wizard's plans bear fruit. If it costs me my honor as a man of Rohan, so be it. I will defy the word of my king if doing so will save even one innocent. I will accept whatever justice the king deems appropriate, but he must be told of what we witnessed in Wildermore. He must be warned, even if it means my life. I have told Nona my decision, and she sees the need of it. She will go to Forlaw with the survivors of Biotor, and we will meet again once this is through. Speak now to Corodan and Gleowin and see what they think of my plan. Huh. Okay.
Horn plans to defy the word of his king.
That cannot have been an easy decision for him to make, but I understand what has driven our friend to make it. Horn may be imprisoned, or worse, if his tidings can break the king's reverie, it might be the only action that can save the people of Rohan from their enemies. The survivors of Biotor are now well enough to travel. Nona and I will bring them to the city of Forlaw while Horn brings his message to the king, and we will rejoin him when we can. I think it would be unwise to enter the court of Theoden in the company of the Dunlending girl, even one proven so true as Nona. And it is not she alone who would raise the hackles of the Rohirrim. An elf of Lorien would be as unwelcome. Am I mistaken?
The king must hear what happened in Wildermore.
Gleowin listens to your account of Horn's decision to defy the word of the king and smiles. Horn can count me with him, Fennan. I will return to Edoras in defiance of Theoden King, whom I serve without question in all things save this, for I believe it is right. I am not afraid of death. If the king orders it, I will be the first to praise his justice and will surrender to the hetmans without complaint. The king must hear of what happened in Wildermore, and I am certain he will listen when he hears what Horn has to say.
One path remains a mystery to me.
I know now what the rest of us will do, but one path remains a mystery to me. On what path will you walk? Will you come with me to Edoras? I do not ask you to defy Theoden King, my friend. I will understand if our paths must now separate. I would not blame you. That is, most like, the way of wisdom. It is with my heart I make this choice for myself, but I would not presume to make it for you, by head or by heart. His voice is casual, but you can tell from his eyes that worry lurks beneath the surface. With a comforting smile, you tell him that you will accompany him to Edoras for the good of Rohan's people, though it be against the command of their king. Horn's relief is tangible and sudden. You are as great a fool as I am. I am overjoyed to say it. It is for the best that Nona and Korodan will meet up with us later, though it brings me sadness to part from them. 2 men, a dwarf, and an elf, all returning to Edoras against the command of the king and the company of a Dunledin girl would be too great an insult. We defy the king, but still seek to be polite. Is this madness? The 2 of us and Gleowin should now travel to Hundenbald at the Endwade crossing and tell him we will not be turned away. Okay. We have our path. Defying the king was not on my bingo card for this year, but sure. Off we go. Why not? Is this the way down? Not really, but we can make it. Ow, hey! Stop that. Ooh, ooh. Oh. Oh my. Oh, those are trees. Oh, no. Well, I guess that worked. Not another cliff, please. Goodness gracious. Murzum's Ra? You know what? I was going to leave you alone, but you leave me not really a chance here. There we go. This camp.
We cannot provide much by way of hospitality, but you are welcome.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
Are you a ghost? Nobody in their right mind would come here. I wish I'd not have done it myself.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
The forest is no place for my people, Finnan. The orcs build from the wood each day, and while my men and I have been able to slay a few stragglers, their force is simply too large for us to engage. If you seek to enter Fangorn in search for my people, you must be mindful of their patrols, and know that still even more lurk upon that frozen trail into the forest. Confer with my men, perhaps they can explain what dangers you face. And once you have done that, look to the road. If the orcs pass on their foul mounts, you may have a chance to sneak into Balewood.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
Be wary. The orcs have cut a swath through the forest of Nurzum's wake, and they patrol the paths constantly. Their numbers are great, and their armor far thicker than most. I cannot promise you safety if you stick to the wilds, but I assure you the orcs will find you, and quickly, if you do not. Ew.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
So, Sadik would have you enter the forest? There are strange happenings afoot within the Balewood. It is as if the forest itself has come alive with rage. The few times that I have ventured within to observe the orcs, I have felt eyes on every move. I know not if it was merely my fear of being seen by orcs, or that something unnatural dwells within. Take heed, if you travel into the forest, for more than orcs may rally against you. That's not really comforting. Oh, no, wait. Oh, I need 2 points for that. No, I do not. For that I need 2 points. Ew! 2 points for next rank. Okay. Well, then we wait. Nearby the bunker to watch the road? What bunker? There then.
I do not know if we will survive this onslaught.
The orcs have passed. You would be wise to stay clear of the road if they have cut through Balewood, lest you be caught by their raiding parties. The time is now or never. You must venture into the Balewood before another wave advances.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
You must travel into the forest before the walk riders rally along the path. If you find any sign of the refugees of Wildermore, you must aid them if you can. I know not how close they have come to the forest's edge, but if you find anything, a bag, a scrap of clothing, footprints, or even one of their fallen, please search elsewhere nearby. My men and I will hold their attention here along the road. You must go now. Okay. Can I do anything, or am I going to die horribly? Oh, okay. Cool. Perfect. Can't do it. Cancel. Well, we tried. You have stumbled upon a snow-covered rucksack in the Bale Wood. If you move quickly, it is possible you may find some of the refugees of Birator nearby. Judging by the light snow cover on the rucksack, you believe that survivors may still be found nearby. After gathering your wits, you decide to set off in search of the Birator refugees.
Great and terrible things lurk in the dark of the forest. If any of the refugees from Birator yet survive, they will need aid.
I agree. A muffled yell pierces the snowfall as refugees run into view.
What brings you to these lands?
Thank you for your aid, friend. Huna struggles to catch his breath. My fellows and I became separated when the wood trolls attacked us. Oh, I'm sorry, I had a hiccup. I feel a coward for abandoning them, but we are defenseless. I know not what fates have befallen them by now. You look like a hearty minstrel. Will you aid me in my search for them? Yes. But can we go a little bit quicker? Do I hear that? Yes, I do.
Our mission is dire.
Let us away. I fear no good will come from this staying on this road. We should take refuge among the trees here, and perhaps then we shall find my fellows. A cave. Ah. A frantic yell coming from the Orc roadway pierces the air. A surly Uruk captain standing over a wounded refugee sees you approach.
Aid the horse lords.
I think there is no rescue for me, stranger. The Uruk he is too strong. Leave me. Hell now. Rotten yard. You summon the courage to stand as the vicious Huon beats back the Uruk captain. Let's go. Yeah, I agree. That thing could pretty much hurt me.
condition is dire.
If these are truly the forces we are to contend with within this forest, I hold not much hope for our escape. Nevertheless, thank you for your aid, friend. We would have succumbed to the cold even if those monsters had not found us. I mean you no ill will, but such terrors are likely even beyond your skill, friend. You are welcome to stay with us until it is again safe to leave the cave. Come, let us warm ourselves and rest inside.
You have need of our assistance.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
I cannot thank you enough for your aid. We have wandered in the cold and dark for some time now, and many of our numbers splintered when the orcs and trees fell upon us. Your bravery is aiding us, especially Leodwald was remarkable. I know not what horrible fates would have visited us had you not intervened. The creatures that roam this forest are those of the most dangerous breeds. You too should remain here at least for a short time, lest they find you again. This cave, it is no home of mine, but it keeps us from harm, and we shall make our camp here for now.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
I know not what lurks outside this cave. It is if it is anything like what we have seen already, I fear the worst for all of us. We lack arms, the winter's chill bites, and us even here. Nothing in this forest welcomes us. I would not be surprised if this cave collapsed upon us. Although the road south is overrun, perhaps there is a way for us to escape, even if only to another cave in the high knolls or to the camp south of which you spoke. We cannot follow the road, lest the riders run us down, but perhaps we can find way to the north, west, or east. Travel outside the cave and tell me if there is any clear path of the forest, and be safe. We would surely be lost without you.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
I am certain that you have heard, but we were not the only ones who fled into the Balewood. Our kinsmen are lost in the forest, and I fear we may never see them again. They are ill-equipped to survive in such conditions, and the orcs hounded us at every turn. From what I have seen of you, you can handle such troubles, my friend. If you could please search for them, then when we separated, we were not far from here. But I know not how far they may have wandered in the dark.
I'm afraid of what is happening to these lands.
Kuna and Leodwald have made concerned themselves with our escaping from this forest, but I know not now how they imagine we can do so after such violent happenings upon the road. It is not beyond me to think that we shall be here for a goodly while, and if we are to survive, we will surely need warmer clothing. The woodrolls harried me until I found this cave, but as I ran, I saw slain orcs on the forest floor. The orcs of this land are very dangerous, to be certain, but if you could tear the clothing from those that lay slain, we could survive the chill that reaches even into this cave. I will not speak of the odor we shall be forced to endure, but such is the price of survival. If you can retrieve those clothes for me, I can tailor them into more fitting sizes for the others. Okay. Not this way. There's the exit. Okay. What am I doing here? Oh. Ew.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
How lucky I am to have been found. Thank you for your aid, friend. Good. That's awesome. No, we are not going to defeat Varg. Go away. We are not able to do so. Another refugee.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
The cold bites at me, stranger. I must reach shelter. Thank you for finding me in these bleak woods. Woodroads lurk all around you. The refugees could not defend against such creatures. Oh. Jeez, what is dense, this area? That would be super difficult to go through here with the horse. Oh, that will be for Bilbo. For Baba. The heck? What happened? Yeesh.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
Okay? Oh, thank you. Thank you, stranger. There you go. You have encountered a glade of wandering huons. There is no safety here. Alright. You also control the main pathway through Bellwood. The refugees could not make it this far. Now, where do I find these 3 more refugees? I'm not going to go through there. That went bad the first time. Now the question is, where are they? Are they somewhere in a cave here? Is there a cave here? Because I've been through this and I don't see anyone here. They should be very much here. At least one. You see? Oh, come on. Met his end at the end of the orcs. Okay. So they are not all alive. Some of them can actually be dead, and then I would never... I wouldn't see them with the... with the ring over their head, the quest marker over their head. Oi! Okay, I don't like this area. This area's not fun. Why don't you have that ring over your head? Hello? Is she bugged? Apparently. Great! And the other one should be here somewhere. No. Okay, one last try up the other side, and if not, then we are disregarding this one mission. Sheesh.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
It is sorrowful to hear the fates that befell some of my kin. This forest is a sorry place to meet one's end, and to such creatures. Although I am glad to see these three among our number again, I fear that we too are simply awaiting a similar fate here. If you would remain here with us, I am certain there are more ways you can aid us still.
I do not know if we will survive this onslaught.
Buna's face sinks as he turns to look at the others before shifting back to you. So, then we are trapped in this cave and the enemy lurks outside. Curse that monster, I cannot believe what he... Buna's eyes begin to fill with tears, but he composes himself quickly. Your efforts are appreciated, even if we must remain here for now. If you can aid us further, and the others would be so grateful.
I'm afraid of what is happening to these lands.
What a horrific stench. I know not the scent's origin, and yet it overpowers everything. How foul those orcs are. Still, I would rather stink of their filth than end up frozen in this cave. Thank you for your aid. I shall begin tailoring these garments into something more befitting for my people.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
I know not what to do. We have been away from our kinsmen for too long now, and the chill of this place has overcome us all. With the orcs patrolling constantly, there remains little hope of our escape unless something can distract them. But I would not ask you to stand against them, not yet. Before the others and I lost our way, we saw the glow of many torches in the distance. I knew well of the presence of the enemy in this wood, so we were strayed far from their warmth. The orcs must feel this chill too. If you were to scout along the eastern edge of the roadway, perhaps we could learn more of the purpose here? Were I you, I would avoid traveling their path. Their number overwhelmed even the hardiest of our warriors. You don't say. God, it's music. Search the roadway for signs of orcs' plans. Orcs. Any foes orcs face? Destroy torches. that is a useful map. Nope, that one. Finally, something I didn't have before. The wood trolls besiege the roadway, delaying the orcs. We have found no sign of the orc leader, but the largest among foes seems to know of him. Ran right by them. Oh, you respawned fast. Oh. What are the plans? Are they laying somewhere? they pinned somewhere? The orcs appear to be transporting felled trees north along the road. How do I get that from here?
I do not know if we will survive this onslaught.
You bring good tidings. Any ill fortune that visits these creatures is all the better for us. Let us see how the orcs handle themselves now. I wager they shall find their troubles insurmountable with the warmth of the torches in this harsh climb. You may yet be able to stand against them, my friend. If their carts are halted and they are beset by wood trolls, there can be no greater time to bring their schemes to ruin. Let me ponder just a moment, for such dealings must be decided with haste.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
The orc numbers are great, but so are their troubles. Surely a leader of some sort must be among them, and if it is he who must be found. Perhaps these orcs carry some sort of plan or orders, brutish as their kind may be. The forces of the White Hand choose a strange place to stage their assault of Beator and the other halls of my kin. I am curious what the purpose here might be. I must admit I am fearful that he may be guarded by the strongest of the number. If we are to learn the orc's purpose here, you must discover any missives he bears, but care must be taken, lest you lay down your life foolishly. I would ask that you lure him from the road into the shadow, for it is there his death might go unnoticed. Take heed of my warning. We would surely be already lost without your aid, and be safe.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
Huna tells me that you scouted the Orcs' trail and came across their cart entrenched in snowdrift along the road. I suppose those monsters are having just as lovely a time as we are? Do not confuse my amusement with sympathy. The orcs deserve any trouble that visits them here, as nothing will be enough to avenge Beator and the people that we lost to them, and the giant. Now then, about those carts. The orcs are already slowed, but you are a hearty minstrel, are you not? Not today, it seems. If you can get close enough, set their carts ablaze. That should bring them to an utter halt.
We travel swiftly, but we will aid you as best we may.
Well then. What's that? Remote quest? Oh, no. We have found a heavily armored orc of Isengard who is certainly their leader. Did I? Oh. You. Okay, cool. Take the orc's missive from Lomo's corpse. You should look over it before pressing on. This smudged missive contains an extensive list of resources demanded from Wildermore by Isengard. Among this list is an extreme amount of lumber, a much-needed material to fuel Saruman's forces at Orthanc. Beneath the neatly written message, there appears to be a hastily scrawled note, a product of a far less trained hand. It reads, "Send the small ones to make the first cut. Too many trees attacking our forces. If the trees move, leave the small ones, flee and find another. We lack the numbers and time for another incident. Never tell the wizard of this. Will not explain losing so many orcs while felling a tree. Do not wish to be the next slain. Sending hewers northeast of this position to a clearer area where the trees looked like trees. The wizard will have my head if we don't deliver the lumber to the forest's edge soon. You should return to Huna and seek his counsel on the matter before returning and continuing your assault against the White Hand forces." One last.
I do not know if we will survive this onslaught.
Thank you for your aid. The orcs' resources have been stripped bare for now. We can only hope that it takes them much time to recover from the blow you have dealt them.
I do not know if we will survive this onslaught.
So you have returned after all. We were beginning to worry that the orcs... Well, no matter. You are with us once more, and that is all that matters. Does hope yet remain? Tell us of your journey.
I do not know if we will survive this onslaught.
Well, what is it then? Trees against the orcs? Are you sure it speaks not of a tree like the one that battered the Uruk outside our cave? You have fared well against their Dhammas so far. That much is clear. Perhaps you should seek out these hewers and see if you can discover any of these trees they mention. For my part, I would like to believe a tree is just a tree, but this forest seems with queer things. Beba, Leopold, and I are safe now. We have enough to survive on, and the warmth of this fire soothes our ills. Worry not about following your charge, friend. Seek out aid in the forest. I just hope you find it, for all our sakes. Oh, there. Gathering everything that stands around here. You are all coming with me. Don't know what for, but you are all coming with me. Search the human glade for signs of huons or ants. You have come upon a field strewn with the corpses of orcs and what appear to be the remains of what? Of an ant. Oh. An ant lies slain among numerous orcs, one of which appear to be fleeing the battle. The grim scene before you unfolded very recently, but in the distance you can see deep cracks in the snow that could only have been made by ants, and a trail of more slain orcs leading deeper into the forest to the north. It appears the ants have fled to the north. You should seek them out before there any more harm can visit them. Why? Baralas and Tiefenol. Huh? Oh, okay. Not an orc, are you? Come to hack away at us, little one? The ant raises a branch menacingly above his head before lowering as you rush to store your weapons away. No. No, I suppose not. We have lost a friend this day, and I can only hope that we have gained another. Little one, I find the men outside the forest either say too much or far too little. So, which is it for you? Too little, then, I suppose. We shall see if that does not change, for a great many things have changed here. The forest has not been chilled such before. Yes, we have had winters, and the cold does yet come, but this goes far beyond a simple changing of the seasons. Then Wolf and I awoke, nothing was as I remembered it. There were times when I and the other ants conversed at length, for there was much still to say, and even more time to say it, but now the Ending Hollow has frozen solid. Our enemies set siege to the forest and Leaflock slumbers, unable to tend the huons. Ah, to be free of such problems and to think of better times. Come, we must travel to the Ending Hollow. Are you ready to follow?
Sheltered from the evil that has taken hold of the forest, Baralas wishes to recall the days before Nurzum's coming, when the Ents once met at the Ending Hollow.
We have made it. This forest has become so unfamiliar to me since Nurzum returned. And yes, he was here once before, little one, but then he was different. What he gained in might, he lost in compassion for the creatures of this realm. Let us walk, and I shall tell you more of Nurzum and the men of these lands. And so, little minstrel, you have heard all I wish to say on these matters. Let us return to Stonecliff. Such an open space is a perilous place to remain. Duskleaf was right. I knew my mistake well once Nurzum carved his path under the canopy. I still hold out hope that the forest may be reclaimed, dim as it may be. The men and their horn have paled in comparison to such wanton destruction. Aside from Tithonwolf, I have not seen the other since awakening. I cannot help but wonder what has become of them. I worry greatly for Duskleaf. He is quick to action, and if he dared stand against Nurzum, I fear what horrors might have befallen him. If you would, let us talk of finding the others. It may be that you find such eagerness to aid us misplaced, or perhaps not. We shall see, little one. I slept long before this winter. This wood has become so baleful, so hostile to my kind. When first I began to sleep, many ants wandered this wood, but the monster pulled me from my slumber. Many of us are lost, slain by the forces that defile our forest. Others may have found refuge, or they may have not. I am too large to seek out the others without being discovered by my foes, but you can move through the forest much more freely. If you can, little one, seek out my kindred in the darkness. Perhaps some have returned to the Enting Hollow since winter's fall. The forest is not itself, friend. When Baralas and I awoke from our sleep, we did so in darkness, and we awoke into violence. Such happenings are troubling, and I fear that Finglas cannot wake to aid us, for he had been becoming more and more tree-ish, so to speak, before our sleeping. The wood trolls harry us wherever our limbs carry us in the gloom, and the Huons, they are unruly without Finglas tending. They may be beyond saving, though I do not wish to believe it so. The wood trolls must have been affected by Nurzum's passing. I can only wonder what wounds he inflicted upon them to make them far more hostile than they already had been to my kind. Tithonwolf heaves a heavy sigh. Seek out the wood trolls for the good of the forest, and please return them to the earth. However, I would ask that you examine their remains, and perhaps then we can discover what has driven them to madness. Okay. Let's see what we can do for the ants. I wonder what the baleful wood trolls, what the difference is between the normal wood trolls and the baleful ones. Ow. Hey. Stop it. Okay. Where? Where are you? Oh, there. There's one. I need one baleful wood troll though. There. There we go. Perfect. And now we need to find Strongroot and Nindorn. What are you doing here? Baralas is safe, you say? Very well. I shall return to his side on my own time. I must remain far from orcs, lest they find me here like my fellows. While I begin my journey, I would ask your aid on another matter. Baralas is a wise Ent, and he is my elder. However, many are elders to us, for us young Ents are all that remain here. My bark looks old and weathered, you say? Old, my small friend, may still be young to us. The monster Nurzum has been a cause of great destruction to my friends in this forest. The cries of the trees he has pulled them from the earth is not something I long to hear again. His assault on his forest was swift and brutal, and many of his damages remain still. Along the side of the twisted path through the forest that the orcs defile with their crude machinery, you will find this handiwork smashed into the earth. If you search for signs of his destruction, I would ask that you examine them, for strange things have been cropping up in this forest as of late, and none of them good. Okay. Search for a boulder thrown by Norzum. That one boulder thrown by him. Oh, stop it. You have found an icy boulder that has impacted the ground deeply. Such strength goes beyond even that of a giant. Search for more signs of Norzum's destruction in the Balewood. Have you seen all these icy spikes coming out? I thought that might have been enough of an indicator. Yeah, there you go. You have encountered a shard of ice upon which Norzum has impaled several wood trolls. You have discovered a jagged crack in the Balewood's earth, surely caused by Norzum's stomping. Perhaps there is more to this monster than we thought. Such strength is uncommon even for a giant of stone. And that foul root sprang from the earth amid his havoc? This is odd indeed. Odd and gravely unsettling. Panel, we must speak of what is to be done to learn more of this monster, lest any hasty action must be taken. Okay, he returns to Baralas and the others. Orcs, trolls, giants, and now a stout axe? What brings you all here to disturb us? Baralas, he has awakened? I shall journey to him, but first, little one, I have a task for you. Of course you do. This winter has been cruel to my kind. When Norzum came, many of the ants remained still in slumber. But those of us that walked among the trees were faced with the great foe of our kind. The trees screamed to us for help. I hear their cries still. They did not understand. And Norzum? We were so few. We could do nothing to stop him. We fled into the forest, all of us, saved for Duskleaf. Such hasty decisions are unbefitting, I think. But he went forth. Norzum struck him down, but his ending did not come. He fled into the forest and has avoided all of us since. I would ask that you try to convince our friend to return. Nurzum must be dealt with in time, and we will need all of our kind to stand against him. If Duskleep is to be found, I would guess he is near the Ending Hollow, little one. No, that is not too far away, thank goodness. The Ents are going to help us against Nurzum? That would be interesting. Oh, hello. Sharp creaking pierces of silence as an Ent slumbers forth. Another little one come to hack at my branches? You dare speak to me of rejoining the others? It matters not where we choose to plant ourselves if nothing is to be done. This forest is dead. They are too weak to act. But I am not. I am one to smother any invader of these woods beneath the snow. Stop it! I'm a friend! Maddened by the pain Nurzum inflicted, Duskleep was beyond saving. You must tell Nindorn what has happened. That's not what I wanted to do. So he was lost to madness? Tragic, my friend. Nurzum's rampage hewed his mind long ago then. You made the only choice you could, little one. As impatient as Quickbeam then that one was, but bold nonetheless. I will miss him greatly. Thank you for telling me of these happenings, Finan. I will return to Badalas now. I never thought to see the return of my friends, not with all that has occurred. Thank you for bringing them to my side once again. Almost all of our kind are here now, at least of those that remain. One slain by orcs, one corrupt beyond saving. This bodes ill for us. The last of us is still nowhere to be found. If I remember, he has want to take root on the hills above the eaves far to the southwest. You should begin your search there. What? Baralas? He and the others still walk this wood? I will return in my own time, little one, but there are great many things to tend to nearby, and much of my own curiosity to be quelled. Listen, and perhaps you will understand my plight. A little far off here. If Badalas wishes me to return to the others, I shall, however, I will do it in my own time. There are many things to tend to before I leave these trees, and many grim things that inhabit this forest. In the monster's wake, I wish to know more of the monster, and if I can, bring such knowledge to the others. Should you wish to aid me in these errands, I may be able to return to Badalas in some matter of time that you might think hasty. As we travel, I shall speak with the trees of this wood, and I try to discover what has become of those that I have lost in this fog. If I am not paying attention at times, do not be alarmed. I am simply deep in conversation. Well, shall we set off? Still not going to do this. There we go. Oh. Oi, 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 oi. Ouch. Rotten Heart is a raid. Not going to happen. Can you hear that? The trees cry out in the distance, fearful of the orcish blades that have already felled others. So many have been hewn. To what end? These tools of destruction have no place in our forest. You are an able minstrel. Perhaps you can take their axes from them. If you were to break their tools, they could not bring such harm to Fangorn. Let us confront them and shatter their axes. Look at what has become of Fangorn. So much of the forest smothered in snow. I do not know what the cost of this winter shall be. The trees are strong enough, at least those that were not in the monster's park, but the other greenery is not as hardy, and I fear it will succumb under the cover of snow. Snowdrifts have buried much of the life in this forest, but I am hopeful that if we sift through the snow, we might save some of the plants. Let us travel about the wood and rescue what we can. Oh no, we are to go this way. Great. Of course. Yeah, you go. Aye. Why does everything has might? Might is not what I need. Oh yeah, this is so weird. I don't see anything. Three more? Two. Wait. Let's find that last snow pile. Yes. Okay. As we have journeyed, little one, the trees have spoken to me of many things. They are not as they once were. I feel their fear. And as we draw closer to the hill above, I sense that the White Hand's encampment cannot be far. However, should that be true, I am filled with dread. An elder Huon, one of the mightiest of his kind, once lived atop that hill. Either he has gone from this wood, or some terrible fate may have befallen him. The trees do not know of his fate, at least not those we have traveled among, so we must seek to learn what has become of this Huon. Let us search these woods for any signs of him, and if he cannot be found, for better or worse, we must discover where the orcs are camped. Trying to go by with a normal mount now, because I think that's easier to handle here in these woods than the warhorse. Neat look. Wait. Anything? No? Okay. What once appeared to be a waterfall has slowed to a jagged, frozen wall. And a higher vantage point near the frozen waterfall. You see what appears to be branches on ledges across the other way. The branches appear to actually be the roots of a larger tree discarded from above. Nope, you go away. Nothing remains near the elder Huon's old home, save for the younger, frozen Huon. A Huon frozen to the earth? What other horrors have the orcs in Nurzum visited upon his forest? Wait. With what little life remains, the Huon is trying to speak to me. Mosbyr creaks with fear as he listens to the Huon. Brunduron is slain. We must return to the others at once. As we travel, I will tell you more of what this Huon has seen, my friend, but we must make haste to Stonecliff. Not so long ago, this forest spread wide and healthy, unfettered by the assaults of orcs in Norzum. Those that dwelt within here were mighty and took root among one another. One of the greatest of the Huons in all of the Fangorn, Brunduron, once dwelt where the White Hand's camp now stands. I am sure you think you know the ending of the story, little one, for there is no mistaking that you have seen it at my side. The trees have spoken to me of darker things, and though hewn, Brunduron's story is far from over. Before we can return to Baralas to speak of Brunduron's fate, you must first understand how the Huons met its end, and how the cowardice of orcs has shaped this forest and beyond. This forest and beyond since that day.
After conversing with the trees of Balewood, Mossbeard has learned horrifying truths of Nurzum's origins and the fate of the Elder Huon, Brunduron.
Viler truths have I seldom known. The others must know of these happenings soon, but you must understand as well if you are to continue to aid us. Where the orc camp now lies once stood a bold Huon, one of the very greatest in the forest. My memories of those days are as clear as ever they have been, and they are tainted by the knowledge I have gained from these trees. Come, let me tell you of the Huon's fate. I have told you but half of what there is to tell, for far grimmer tales remain. Let us leave this place and return to Banalas and the others. As I have told you, there remains much to be told, but it must wait until we reunite with Baradas and the others. They knew much of Brunduron and the Huon's End, but in the times between then and their awakening, they have missed many unsettling details. We must travel to them at once, for both you and the others must know of Huon's fate, and the true wrath, unknowing or not, that has been levied upon this forest. A journey it has been. Baralas and the others have much to learn of the monster. As do you still. Allow me to gather my thoughts, for this trip has been far more eventful than most things in its lifetime. Baralas looks as if he wants to speak to you. You should see what he has to tell, and I shall begin to take root. Here. You have returned with Mossbeard. I knew you would not disappoint us, little one. I am joyful to look upon him again, but in his eyes I see great distress. Mossbeard wishes to speak with all of us, does he? Well then, let us hear your tale. And so, little one, Brunduron was taken by the orcs. Norzum has wandered these woods some time before this happening, you see. And he was then but a stone giant and not much interest in the destruction of any creature of nature. His curiosity of the man was his only real reason to venturing into Wildermore, but then he was grievously wounded and chased from their lands. The other ants and I thought him gone for our forest. Such things never come to a resolution simply with the creatures, do they? Yet one day Norzum returned, and this time he was not alone.
The Ent Mossbeard wishes to tell you more of what he has learned from the trees of Balewood. Nurazum's might stems not from within, but from the vile stone upon his back, granted to him by a powerful benefactor.
The rest of my tale begins where Brunduron fell, though since that tragic day much time had passed and many more trees had fallen to shape the walls of their disgraceful camp. It is clear now that Norzum's ally was not better than those who he harbored within these walls, though far more mighty. When you are ready, I will tell you what I know of Norzum and how he came to possess such a stone. Yes, tell me. I am waiting for quite a while. Oh, sorry. Now you understand. Let us leave this memory. So you see now, Nurzum returned to the forest, his wounds healed, his might bolstered and lashed together by what remained of Brunduron. All he was tasked with in return for such wonders were the death of the man that had wronged him. How could he see the folly of his actions in the face of such silver-tongued man? I know of this wizard, little one, for once Treebird spoke of him with Leaflock in days long past. Always one to take knowledge, but never share it in return. You look as if you have met him too. Such times are so long past that I doubt he even remembers us amid whether other chaos he now wreaks. Surely, if the orcs did not tell him of Brunduron's assault, he would not have thought much of using a tree in his foul experiments. His blindness to the forest may yet prove this monster's undoing, but we shall see yet. Mossbeard has spoken true of many things over the ages past, and as wild as his claims may be, I believe his tale. He has spoken to us further of the things the trees came to know of Nurzum's arrival in the forest, and what destruction he visited upon the creatures of this wood, and my friend, Duskleaf. Nurzum's assault began to the west, upon the hills where Brunduron fell. Even the orcs were terrified of his presence, and once sought to follow him too closely in his track through the woods of the forest edge. Already he had drowned the surrounding lands in snow, and by bringing the stone to the forest, and the creatures of his wood knew well that something horrible had come with the winter's chill. Listen well, little one, and I shall tell you of the forest rose and fell to Nurzum's might.
Nurzum has sown discord throughout Wildermore, but nowhere was the power of the stone felt greater than where his path of destruction began, deep in Balewood.
Leave through Varukan and travel to the forest's edge. Hear the familiar creaking of branches as more trees rise against you in the distance. Blocked by a strange tree that looks like he wishes to speak with you. What purpose could you have for such destruction, giant? Do you even understand what agony you have brought upon the creatures here? You tear the trees from the ground, you freeze the huons where they took root, and even the foul wood trolls are not spared your ire. My friend either lay sleeping in this winter you have buried us in, or they lack the courage to stand against you. But I do not. I shall not allow you any further in these woods, monster. Bring it on. I mean, we are Northern, so bring it on. The destruction that followed Duskleaf's defeat is known well to the Ents. I was going to say, excuse me? So the question only is, what happens now that Norzum has practically done everything Saruman asked of him? Learning of such things has brought a great sadness to me. Norzum's destruction did not end there, as you have long known. He rampaged throughout the forest floor, cutting a frozen scar through those helpless trees. Yet even when he left the forest, the wounds he dealt to our lands would not be quick to mend. Duskleaf was always quick to act, but in the face of such an evil, he also proved himself the bravest of us Ents. We cannot allow his sacrifice to wither upon the frozen earth here. To not involve ourselves in such dire matter would be a disgrace in Duskleaf's memory and the good of this forest. If the orcs yet linger in these woods, we must drive them out. Norzum, Brunduron as one? Can such things be? What twisted magic could have wrought such a monster? Such things defy nature. I am grateful that abomination has strode from the forest, but if he returns, our numbers are few and our choices fewer. But what of the orcs? All of the havoc you have found, so much of it remains because of Norzum's assault. His orc allies simply cannot match his destruction. Their roadways, I wonder, what has become of it? Especially to the northwest whence their kind first came. Search the roadway and follow it to its end. I am curious what remains of their force. For my part, I will travel to meet you outside the northern edge of their camp. I doubt they will notice me among other trees. Let's see what he has to say. We have discovered a few stragglers burning wood trolls, but a larger force is absent. Signs of a battle litter the road, here a slain Huon looming over its kills. The roadway is largely empty here, but you can hear raucous orcs further up the hill. We have come across the White Hand's holdings in the Balewood, a grim camp of orcs built atop Brunduron's shattered roots. Not only are they still here, but they built their terrible structures atop Brunduron's remains. These monsters know nothing but destruction and spite our kin and these lands at every turn. Can we sit idly by as they continue to tear apart our home? The others and I have thought on this matter, and we will march to their camp and force them from the forest. As for you, their numbers remain great, and we do not know if more will come to aid them in time. Return to their camp and slay many of their number. We shall meet you nearby, and make our assault once you have slain as many as you see fit. Such things are moving too quickly for me. But the others are right. This trespass cannot continue. Okay. And that means that this is where we're going to continue next time. As always, thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day. See you in the next one. Bye!